Hello, and welcome back once again, everyone. This is episode 5 of Atama's Review Corner. This video game review is done for Gamestrata.com. This community is about the player and is for the player. Where do you rank? I'm your host, Atama Darkening. Today, I will be reviewing Marvel Ultimate Alliance for the Xbox 360. Now, up and away to the review. The story of the game is Colonel Nick Fury brings together an unprecedented force of the greatest superheroes as the sinister Doctor Doom and Masters of Evil are on the verge of seizing unimaginable power that could destroy the fabric of the known universe. For starters, Marvel Ultimate Alliance is a 4-player view from above brawler, where you pummel an endless army of enemies and their bosses, just like its predecessors, X-Men Legends 1 and 2, which was also done by the same company, Raven Software. This game will start on S.H.I.E.L.D.'s helicarrier and move on to such areas as Atlantis, Asgard, and the Skrull throne world, just to name a few. As well, throughout the game you will run across 25 different superheroes, such as Spider-Man, Thor, Wolverine, Blade, Elektra, Miss Marvel, and if the player is willing to dish out either an additional 500 Microsoft points for either the superhero pack or the villain pack, or they could go and buy both together for 800, you can get some interesting characters such as Doctor Doom himself, Venom, Magneto, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, and the Incredible Hulk. Again, only to name a few. Almost all characters in the game have 3 additional outfits to unlock. Some of these costumes bring flavor to the heroes, while others have almost no differences in their costumes. However, each costume has a different set ability to help out that hero. When the player reaches a certain area within the game, it allows the player to put together his own team. So whenever the player puts those 4 together, the team level increases 2 as well, to help with such things as enhanced damage, more health, and other such things. The controls are pretty simple to figure out, since most of the time you can just press one button to get the job done. There are many special moves that can also be done by holding a trigger button and a corresponding button that a certain move was set to. The player can also wrestle weapons from the enemy's hands in a struggle that the player must fiercely press a button in a battle of back and forth until one is a victor. Health is easily obtained in the game. As the player defeats the enemies, they will drop health and energy spheres. If one character maxes out, then it will move on to another, fixing the hole trying to manage the other 3 characters. As such in the X-Men Legends series, the enemy's AI tends to focus on player-controlled characters, which not only allows the player to worry about themselves, but when the player's AI is actually doing their jobs, they can destroy the enemy without breaking a sweat. There are also 2 types of bosses in Marvel Ultimate Alliance: normal villains and big bosses that must be beat in mini-game battles involving exact button combos that causes an attack that eventually brings down these behemoths. Puzzles in the game are pathetically easy, and the level designs feel flat and boring after a while. However, if the player is one of those gamers that enjoy playing games online and making new friends, then this could be a perfect game to bond with others, as well as if the player wants to play with their friends at their house. There is also allowed up to 4 players on the 360 system. While the player joins with others online, though, they must play within the host's world and cannot use their own characters. There are 2 different ways to play with others. The first is co-op, and the second is arcade. Arcade pits players together against one another to strive to do the best that they can. Whoever gets the most points by the end of that level will get extra experience and gold. In this sense, competitive play, at least in my opinion, is a great way for the player and their buddies to enjoy the full story, but at the same time allows to have all the bragging rights. Marvel Ultimate Alliance is an epic story featuring more Marvel characters than any other game out there, even if it does ignore some of the major comic book events when this game did come out. The game can still be a thrill to players, at least, in my opinion. Some of the best features of this game is its great diverse cast of playable and even non-playable characters, and even some villains, which is nice for people who like to play as the bad guys, and great local and Xbox Live co-op and arcade play. A few bad things about this game is that for those who played both X-Men Legend games and did actually start to get bored of it, this game plays almost identical, except for the automatic leveling up and new ways to get health. The graphics do not look as next-gen as they should have, and as good as the environments were, they just didn't have enough staying power. Lastly, for those who like achievements, or only just play the game for achievements, this game ranges from achievements that can be very simple or complex. Some of the easier achievements are just by playing through the game and beating bosses. The harder ones are collecting the comics and collectibles, getting dolls, and winning 20 arcade matches in a row. Sadly, the hardest difficulty achievement isn't that difficult if you've at least beat the game a few times. There are technically no online achievements for this game, since the player can just bring friends over to the house. But it is fun to play online and get the achievements as much as it is with a group of friends at the home. But for the most part, on a scale of how hard it is to acquire all the achievements, from 1 to 10, I give this game a 7. So, the final score for Marvel Ultimate Alliance is an 8.5 for its great collection of Marvel superheroes and villains, its online play, and somewhat good story. Unless the player is a die-hard comic fan, then it may frustrate them when people who shouldn't work together is working together, or botches up the 2 universes that are within this game. Thanks for joining me for episode 5, and I will be back for yet another show with a review of Fallout 3. Till next time.